to the episode of Otherwise Guys. I'm Cool Shakur.
Priestess of Planet X.
Right now. So, first thing I want to ask you is, so you moved. Last time I talked to you, you live in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
What brought you to Atlanta?
Personal reasons. I had to start over.
Mm-hmm.
I had to start all the way over. So those reasons brought me here. Fortunately, I had the support to be able to start over.
Yeah.
So I felt like it was in my best interest to, put my pride aside for a second and give myself a chance to really do it without having to stress as much as I would have had to, doing it on my own.
Gotcha.
So I was led to Atlanta, which was great because I was in the hub of the music industry.
Yeah.
Because Atlanta's big, as far as resources, connections, and artistry and things like that. But the biggest thing for me is I was pretty much back home. But not here, but Nashville's home for me.
Okay.
So I was much closer to Nashville compared to being Orlando or Miami. And I'm mad far away from, but when I say home, I mean musically. 'Cause that's where I started. So it's I don't know, it's a safe place for me, but Nashville's also changing and evolving very much. Like they're expanding industry-wise in our genre of music. Because, we're Music City, right? But they only have a city for a certain sound of music, not for all music, you know? So we just started getting our own sound. And I've been away for a while, which I'm glad I did it because I wouldn't have experienced and I don't feel like I would have evolved as an artist or as a person had I not gone to all those places and left home, And now that I see, now that I'm stepping my foot back into home more than often, it's like, whoa, life has changed, in a good way though.
When you got here, was networking, did that lead you to the track Testimony, like when you end up linking with that artist?
Yeah, that's crazy because Evan moved to Atlanta 2 months before I did. Mm-hmm. He's from Tennessee as well, but he's from Murfreesboro. But Nashville and Murfreesboro, so 30
you knew that when you met him?
Yeah, we knew each other. We knew each other when I started. He was already an artist. Mm-hmm. A lot of my peers that I know were artists way before I was an artist because I'm from the city. So I was just ex-basketball player, college student types, But when I actually started doing music, I started linking and meeting way more people because being an athlete and I was in schools all around Nashville, I knew so many people anyway. Yeah. And people knew me, but when I started becoming an artist, it's hard for people to see you
she a basketball player.
This quiet, because I was a loner. I was quiet, I was to myself, but I played, so everybody knew me because I was.
Were you still
athlete. Writing? No, I hadn't picked up a pen in years. I was 8 or 9. My cousin and I would. He stayed with us for a couple of years. Him and his brother, they stayed with us for a little minute, and him and I were mad close, and we used to have composition books of just poems and raps and just do it. But we was babies. I didn't know what the fuck. I was being honest in my innocence, I was really tapped into who I was always gonna be. I just didn't know it. Yeah. Because the whole go to school and get a good job thing was kind of stuffed down my throat, and it was hard for me to have any type of autonomy or individuality or even see it. I mean, it took me 28 years to figure out who I was. Yeah.
But what Jay-Z said 26 when he found his.
It's so it's crazy once you really see all that shit you've been through, what it was all meant for. Yeah. It is crazy because now that I see it, I'm like, yo, that it blows my mind because I would have never thought. But one day I'm 28 now. I was 25. But I was 24 because I had this church that I was doing. I had started because when I went on my spiritual journey, I was like, yo, I gotta have a place where I can just be, but I can really tap into the spirituality without it being too heavily focused on religion, because I can't really receive, like, I feel like we all talking about the same oneness of source, right? But it's kind of hard to receive the information for me personally. This ain't nobody else, but it was hard for me personally to receive the information when I feel like it wasn't objectively being explained, or it wasn't like thoroughly, or you know, like in depth, truly being explained.
You want to really break it down.
You feel me? I'm like, nah, really talk to me. Tell me
don't
something
speak
for
in
real.
Code, and then
because I can feel
I gotta come back
being
next Sunday to get the rest.
You feel me? Like, I can feel when I'm being manipulated or played with, and it's like, nah, like. So after all the reading, researching, and meditating, and soul searching, and praying, and all this stuff, because it wasn't even like it became a religion for me to search self. Okay. That's where my religion came.
That's what it's supposed to be, though.
You feel me? And that, when I developed that religion of searching self and figuring out exactly who I was, that's when everything started being open to me, and my world changed forever. And that was like 7 years ago when I started that journey. And then 2 years after that, or 3 years after that, 2 years after that, I picked up a microphone. Mm-hmm. You know, and I started speaking, and I was doing the churches, and then a year later, I picked up a microphone for real to put music to it. You know, but I was in a band for 8 years. Okay. So I knew music theory. I knew music. I come from musicians.
On your Instagram, it say like you songwriter, producer, and rapper. So like, how do you split your passions up? Like, how do you feed? Like, do you choose to feed the rapper over making beats, or how does that work?
I'm not gonna lie to you. It's gonna, for me personally, it's because I'm an extremist personality. Yeah. Like, whatever I do, I'm gonna do all of it and kind of neglect the whole other. You feel me? I'm not great. I can be a good multitasker, but I'm not a great multitasker. I have to really focus on that. So what I do that works for me, I allocate time, and not by structure either. Like, all right, I'm gonna do this for this amount of hours, and I don't. It's too much for me. So like,
become boring. Like,
it's like
30 minutes already up. You gonna add another hour to it?
Like, all right, what are these constricts? Like, these constraints, I can't. Yeah. So I just kind of let it flow. Like, I let myself tell me in that moment what it is that I'm inspired by. Because I could be at work, and I got my earbuds in, and I'm listening to my own beats, and I could be going, and I'll step to the back and record a memo of like what I just came up with, and then that I can sit down and write a verse in 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Off of that, and then that could be that inspiration. I don't have to necessarily like sit for hours on hours on hours. To me, I've kind of developed this alignment with actually being in alignment. Like, I've developed this mentality of actually placing yourself in alignment. You don't necessarily have to grind in a way that's like detrimental to the body, to the mind, to the soul. You don't have to like that whole
opportunities to come type of thing.
Yeah, that whole mantra of no sleep and da. Like, I really personally don't abide by that.
So like, do you still feel like, because last time I interviewed you were saying like you don't want to, like, basically you didn't want to get signed, but do you feel like that if the right opportunity comes, that you will sign, or you will just stay underground?
No, maybe publishing.
Yeah,
or like maybe distribution. Yeah, maybe publishing, maybe marketing. Gotcha. But that's the extent. Gotcha. And that's something I'm still on the fence about, to be very honest with you. Yeah. Because it's like, the more I grow, I feel like
do you feel like it's constriction? Like, once you do that, it's more constriction on you. Your artistry?
Yeah, it's that, and I don't necessarily. I wouldn't even jump to say it's constrictions on the artist. That kind of depend on who you sign with, if they that controlling over how you feel me. Because it's like, especially, and that makes me nervous too. Like, after I sign with you, you gonna expect me to sell X amount of whatever. Yeah. You know, to recoup your loan. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, who's to say you ain't trying to have hands in, you know what I mean, how I'm doing that or how I'm delivering. That just,
they want to control your image.
Yeah, and I feel like the worst thing that could have happened to this industry is me waking up to who I really am. Mm. Like, I feel like that's the worst thing
that can happen to the industry.
Yeah, Not just the industry, but like just this whole paradigm in general of the entertainment business.
So you waking up to it, and
it's like I'm waking up to me. You know what I mean? And I'm watching and seeing there's a whole bunch of other artists. We all waking up at the same time. And I feel like it's a very dangerous time for the veil. You know, like I feel like it's starting to be revealed as to like how we can really do this, because when you mix talent with work ethic, with resources, you feel what I'm saying? And we're like, the more advanced the A&H gets,
technology, man,
is taking over in a whole new way. So it's like, I feel like and then too, what I feel like what's going on in this current dimension is and I say dimension in meaning the season that we're in right now. When I
the little
say
world
that,
we in right now, I get you. I got that.
So
creative mind, I can kind of see it. You know what I'm saying?
So because you can feel it, you're in it, you're swimming in it. We all swimming in that energy, and what we're all going through right now is a shift in a time of death and rebirth, and that death and rebirth is causing everybody to see life for what it really is, and see the world for what it really is, and really wake up to their own power. Like, I don't have to depend on settling for shit no more. I don't have to like bust my ass or lose and sacrifice, because there is nowhere in universal fucking law where it say you gotta struggle. It's not
I think,
a thing.
And you know, remember the Matrix though, how like in the Matrix, you know, the agent was kind of like trying to, I guess, keep stuff back in order, basically. And that's kind of what with anything, your iPhone, if you do a jailbreak on your shit, you know, iPhone and Apple, they're gonna send out a update, shift it back to how it's supposed to be. And I feel like, it's going through changes, but you know, the big corporations and these other people, they're gonna try to ultimately make that shift back into order. Just like Facebook, like
absolutely.
Everybody on Facebook, we free, we do what we want, but Facebook is still connected to the government.
Absolutely.
You know
I'm just
saying, I'm just telling you kind of what I see. Like I believe what you're saying, but I'm saying like it's gonna always be that higher power that's gonna try to shift it back. You know
and that, but to me, that's still an illusion. That's not a higher power. They may have not, they are like not a higher power. You see what I'm saying?
But when I say it, you know what I'm talking about.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I gotta say that to get it.
No, you speaking facts. You speaking facts in the world that like we're physically dwelling in with this human suit. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking from a metaphysical purpose of who we actually are. Like, it's nothing higher than that. Do you see what that's what I'm saying? Like, they can do whatever they want here. But we talking about influencing a masses of the mind. Like, if you pay attention to what the state of mind, the enlightenment that's taking over right now, it's at an all-time high. Like, information is like going. You know, now it's a balance to that, because there's some egoic shit going on with that. There's some false information, some falsehood, and some misleading going on. However, you cannot deny the magnitude of the wisdom and knowledge that is like flooding the stage of where we're in right now. So what I'm speaking of is, look how young our deities are today.
True.
You know what I'm saying? We're getting younger and younger. The people of power are getting younger and younger. It's because the cycle shit's shifting. And yes, that's, those people may always have a hand in trying to do some silly shit. You feel me? That's just how it works. Like, that's the balance of things. But it does not at all deter or affect what universe is putting in place. That's what I'm speaking of.
Look, they want my mind, body, soul, chakra set, do a 360. Acrobatic magic, making growth look trendy now. Pain must be elastic if adjusting to the healing, so I stretch my patience thin while anticipating endings. Time and time again, we get fined for lacking faith. Fatal situations, deprecating self as hateful. Saddle up the stallion in the stable, high horses deported from fortunes or orders. Behold the fortunes of mortals noted now. Not in a stash spot, sipping for long nights. Look, be a lady, tied up like ascot. Started this asphalt, plus innovative, show me the cash spot. I'll show you have-nots, compassion is greatness. I am the wizard of Camelot. Quiet the ego, you learn a lot. I am the reason these devil watch. Decreasing the vibe is the caveat. Rain, spring, bring things the spiritual been trying to carry out. Pardon my mood swings, the universe making me face a lot. If love bond shaped dreams, we might just end up with all the stock. Power to this plant and power to my people.